Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for once again some more sevens, although this time it is the women's seven side of things, and it is going to be the USA taking on New Zealand. Once again, my lighting has decided that it doesn't like me. There we go. That's fixed it a little bit, but currently it is actually very wet there at the ground. It's still being played in Canada, so the men's, they did have the Canada Sevens just a couple weeks ago in Vancouver. This week it is in Langford, and it should be a very exciting one. USA, they were able to win their first game up against Fiji in a very close fixture. New Zealand, they were able to beat England 31-0. But like they said just a little bit before, maybe the scoreline a little bit generous in favour of the Kiwis, as the English side, they are certainly still going to be a tough side. But Pool C is completely stacked. Those four sides that I just mentioned are all in the same group, and they all have the potential of being able to go on to win this competition. But for the USA 7 side, for this matchup, it is going to be Avesi in the starting lineup. Chita Ember, also the captain Maha, with Doyle, Canet, Olsen, and then Kershi into there. But they have decided to go instead Chris Thomas off the bench. She had a very good first matchup in that first game. And also Jazz Gray didn't do too bad either. Looking through at New Zealand starting lineup, Sarah Hirani, then also will be Teresa Fitzpatrick. Then it's Saley. She is actually a newer name that we didn't see for the Olympics. Then Michaela Blyde, pure pace, out on the outside. Kelly. That was a really weird way of saying it, wasn't it? But Kelly Brazier, then Tyler Nathan Wong, and Stacey Fleuler. Those are the two starting lineups for this matchup. But currently now we are only a couple minutes away from this game getting underway, and it should be a very entertaining fixture. The next game that we are covering on the channel, it will be New Zealand taking on Fiji. But before that, we have actually got the game that has taken place between England and Fiji, and that should be a very entertaining one to see exactly how Pool C is going to be ending up. At the moment, New Zealand and also the USA, these two sides will be looking to try and get themselves another victory here, because another victory from now almost guarantees you a spot in the quarterfinals. And then, of course, with the three groups, it does mean the top two from each side, or each group, go through each pool, and then it is the two next highest sides do make their way through. So every point is crucial. Currently, the USA ranked number 4, New Zealand ranked number 11th, but they were the gold medalists at the Tokyo Olympics. The last times that these two sides have actually played, it has been more in favour of the USA. Last time in Langford, it was a Kiwi win, 26 points to 12, and now it is going to be a repeat of maybe a similar scoreline, depending on how New Zealand go. They've got a strong starting lineup, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from the USA as of late, and they are also defending champs, as they were able to win the last competition. But if I had to pick one player for each side who is going to really be able to shine in this game, I'm going to go Michaela Blyde. She's going to use her pace to her advantage there. Although it's quite hard to pick just the one player, actually, now looking through both of the lineups. And I'm going to go Chita Ember is going to have a big game for the USA. But do let me know your score predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. These two sides making their way out there. Of course, it is raining currently at the ground, and it has been wet all day, so it's greasy. It means that there's going to be a few handling errors about. But New Zealand wearing their away kit in the white for this game, the Black Ferns, and they'll be raring to go. Quite a few of these ladies have been playing in the Bunnings actually the Mitre 10 Cup it was. And also we have got the Marina, bro. That algorithm works well. And there it says Adult Entertainment. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well, mate. And currently it is a nice early morning start for us here in New Zealand, sitting at 7:34 a.m., although I guess you could call it a late night, as we have not gone to sleep as of yet. We've almost been up for about 20 hours, but it's been a lot of fun throughout that time. And by the end of our day, in fact, sorry, 20 hours might be an exaggeration. I think we're at about 16, and by the time that this game and the rest of the matches that we are covering are over, it's going to be about 26 hours that we would have been awake for. But now, getting ready to go for the kickoff, it is going to be in the hands of Tyler Nathan Wong, who will be kicking off for this game. And currently, first try of the match, I'm giving it to, you know what, I'm just going to once again go with Michaela Blyde, and also had a hard night, if you know what I mean. Here's Aiden, not Aiden, Adult Entertainment there. Yeah, well, I've been talking flat out for myself, of course, which has been hard on the vocal cords, but currently now in the hands of the Kiwis. Stacey Fleuler, wide cutout pass off into the hands of Michaela Blyde, trying to step a couple times. Great low tackle on her, though. And I believe it was the number 6, Olsen, who was able to make the tackle there. You have to relearn some of these names. I haven't actually covered any of the women's sevens since, I believe it was actually probably Malaga was the last time that we did have a women's sevens competition that we did cover thoroughly on the channel. Now sitting on the halfway line for New Zealand, just trying to link up nicely. It seems like it's going to be a slow, methodical build for the Kiwis in the early stages. Nathan Wong passing it off. It didn't look like she was ready to receive that pass. The lady she went to, but now Sirahirani. Ball on the outside was debatably forward, but it's going to be now Saleh. Cuts on the inside, 10 metres out from the line. And it is still just on their side, although the penalty now to the USA, if they have been able to win that one, and the penalty and the breakdown for not releasing. But massive work from the USA there to stop the Kiwis in their first initial attack, but it was nicely done by Elena Saleh. Just went straight through, and then Olsen. In fact, sorry, it was actually Kershey who got straight on that ball. And very nicely done, although that was not nicely done. That one has not found touch. So now New Zealand are going to have themselves a counter-attacking opportunity, and if they can find the wide cut-out pass, then which she does. And now it's out into the hands of Michaela Blyde, and she will be scoring the first try of the match for the Kiwis. And that will now put New Zealand on the board as the first try scorers in this matchup. Hopefully the scoreboard does also agree for that one, but nicely done. Michaela Blyde did end up scoring. So I guess I made a good choice in that regard, but it was a backline movement initially, and the wide cutout pass to Blyde when she's running onto the ball, it's always going to be hard to catch her. And in that situation, there was no chance for Lauren Doyle to be able to cut her off. And New Zealand scored their first try of this match, possibly not the last. The way that they have started this game, it seems like they are going to try and keep the possession for 90% of this game. And if they can do so, that's going to be hard for the USA to be able to get back in it. But USA, they are a tough side. They are not going to go down easily, and that kick has gone over. So 7-0 now in favour of the New Zealand women's side and the Black Ferns Sevens. But currently 138 tries for Michaela Blyde. That is very impressive, and also a gold medal to her name, as I've just said, which is very huge. But Nathan Wong looking to the right-hand side once again, trying to put some extra height to slip through the hand. So that is exactly what they would have been after, because in slippery conditions, all you need is a couple fumbles and it can lead to another attacking opportunity. But the USA now trying to run this out from their own in-goal area. Almost Cheta Ember has to jump on it. Michaela Blyde, who is definitely outmatched for size up against Cheta Ember. And it's now a penalty to the USA just a few meters out from their line. And Fitzpatrick, she puts up her hand there and apologizes for that one. And like they are saying, geez, there's a nice ute in the background, I just realized. Right next to a road for this one, which is something that is completely different to, I guess, the normal out. Normally we see inside of a stadium, and it is a stadium, but then there is actually the gap in the road in the background. But it looks very nice, other than the weather, because the weather is not looking too nice at all. But currently now Doyle has been dropped on her face, which is unfortunate. But now Cheta Ember trying to break her way through, and Stacey Flula, gets her around the ankles. Now still available for the US. 5 meters out from their line, trying to use that extra bit of power, and it's going to be Maha. They were talking about earlier on, is quite large on TikTok. By the sounds of it, I do not have a TikTok. George does. He likes to look at tractors and only tractors. Doesn't have anything else to do with the fact that there are, I guess you could say, some quite big pieces of machinery on there. And now passing it back, still going to be just available for them. And for Avesi getting wrestled down to the ground. Stacey Flula aggressive there, and she wins the penalty for the Black Ferns. Looks like they want to take this one quickly, and it will be Sirahirani. Almost went for it, but decided against it. I'm not too sure of the temperature at the moment in Canada, but I assume it's not very warm by the looks of that weather. It looks like it is just about maybe 5 degrees, if I'm being generous. Right, what do New Zealand decide? They are going for the scrum feed now, but 2 minutes 40 left in this first half. And Nathan Wong about to feed this ball in. But as I was mentioning, quite a few of these ladies were playing in the domestic competition here in New Zealand recently, also in the Super Rugby competition, the first year that we have had Super Rugby. I believe it was Super Rugby Aupiki. That's the name now. Nice backline movement out to Michaela Blyde. She uses the pace, and she scores again, and she just makes it look a bit too easy. At times, Michaela Blyde, she has got in for her second try, third try of Langford. She was able to pick up one in the first match up against England, and that is going to be another try in favour of Michaela Blyde, but she just has the pace and the acceleration. She almost slips over her own feet, but then after that, just accelerates, and it's going to be a tough day for Lauren Doyle because she is getting outmatched in terms of that acceleration. But she has got that experienced veteran side of things, so maybe she is able to outbrain her, but that's not really a thing, is it? Outsmart her. That is the word I was after. I just outsmarted myself. But all-time tries, currently Portia Woodman right at the top of the list. She is going to be coming off the bench in the later stages. Also Landry, Varela, Green, and now Michaela Blyde has made her way into the top 5 for most try scorers in the competition. Nathan Long once again going to be kicking this one off. And every time she's gone off, it hasn't quite worked out for the US, but this time it's taken very nicely. And now it is going to be a good attack and run from Kirsty. If they can get themselves a try before the end of this half, the USA, they will be right back in this game. The Eagles, massive push off. Nicely done by, I believe it was Kayla Kennett. A couple of these names are actually new ones for the USA, so I'm going to have to make sure that I do name them correctly. But Chita Emba now driving close to the touchline. In fact, that ball is still just available for the US. 51 seconds left in this one. That's the knock on. And unfortunately, that is not what they would have been after in that situation. And that time it was Kayla Kennett who did put that one down. Gets a high five from her teammate for that one. But currently off the bench, Chris Thomas, she was able to do very nicely in that first game up against Fijiana, in which they were able to win by only the 1 point. But 1 point is 1 point. And that is exactly, I mean, it's all you need, really. Just an extra little point on the board could be the difference between making it through and missing out. Currently, the next game that we are covering on the channel is actually going to be starting directly after this one. Nathan Wong going short side of the scrum, and this is going to be another try now for the Kiwis. And also mentioning Imposter started Dane Coles on the wing, and Anton Leonard-Brown reverted back to lock. And there's Cesc Katenda. I didn't realize Anton Leonard-Brown was ever a lock, but I guess it would have been in the younger divisions, I guess. I mean, Dane Coles on the wing, as crazy as it sounds, like even if they start him at hooker, he seems to find his way out to the wing throughout a game. Same with Cody Taylor. It just seems to be the tactic that New Zealand use is chuck your hooker out on the wing and see whether or not they can burn a little bit of pace down there. And also a few sides in domestic level, it seems to be put your number 7 out on the wing, such as Dalton Pavali. And also, I believe some sides go number 6 as well. So it seems to be either blindside flanker on the outside. That's a brilliant kick from Nathan Wong. It's a crossbar challenge. And it has hit the crossbar, but has not gone over. I meant hooker. And there, and Anton Leonard-Brown reverted back to, so he was a hooker back in the day, Anton Leonard-Brown. That sounds like a weird statement. Of course, we're talking about rugby positions here. A halftime in this game, 17-0 in favour of New Zealand. So they will be very happy with the way that this one has started. And they have still got some very good players off the bench. They have got, I mean, Portia Woodman is probably the only name we really need to say there because, I mean, they've also got a few younger players. But Portia Woodman, she's the leading try scorer ever in the women's sevens department and off the bench for the USA. Like I mentioned, they have got Jazz Gray and also Chris Thomas as another option later on, but they will be a bit disappointed with this stuff. Missed 3 tackles. They've only made the 4. New Zealand have made 10 clean tackles and also had the 3 line breaks in that first half, which just helped them out quite nicely. Restarts, they've had 3 so far, and the rain is still pouring down in Langford. So hopefully it doesn't rain tomorrow. I don't want to see finals games affected by rain just because normally it does make it extremely difficult for the teams to be able to go on and have a massive impact. But I do see that once again, I believe since we're in Canada, they are playing on that kind of artificial, I guess you could call it, what's it called, AstroTurf. So because of that, it does mean that most of the players have got a hyper strapping on the knees, hyper strapping on the arms to make sure that they don't end up getting that serious grass burn or I guess friction burn that you can get. Now, Chris Thomas, she is now going to be out on the field for the USA. Go New Zealand, go. And there says Reed Nichols. Currently now second half, about to get us underway. It will be the USA kicking this one off. And we are getting ready to go. I believe that is Kelly Brazier they are showing there. There is a massive hawk, or in fact, it is probably an eagle now that I think about it. It looked like an eagle. Now ready to go for Olsen. Kick this one off for the USA. She has got it down to about the same area that New Zealand were aiming for, but it's taken nicely by Brazier. Now fires it across into the hands of Michaela Blyde-Hirini. Ball on the outside. It looks like they're going to be back in their pace quite nicely here. The Kiwis, Portia Woodman down the wing, and she's going to be impossible to catch when she gets going as quick as Kennett wants to think that she will be. Unfortunately, just not quite able to catch up. And that will be another try. And Portia Woodman, she adds another one to her tally. So that's at 300 or 200 now, something along those lines. But 2 for Langford. And like they're saying, she is a very special player. As the new coach, Corey Sweeney, recently getting the role as the head coach of the Black Ferns Sevens side. Portia Woodman, it was a nice pass initially from, I believe it was Teresa Fitzpatrick, then found Portia Woodman, and she was gone. And the referee, tell you what, fair play to that touch judge, because he kept up with her for a majority of that one, making sure that she did put it down legally, but she did. And then from there now, it is going to be that conversion going straight down the middle. The rain is getting heavier and heavier currently. 6 minutes left in this game, and New Zealand are leading at 24-0 over the USA. But like I mentioned, the next game we are covering, it is Fiji versus England, and what should be a very exciting game. And hopefully the Fijian side will be able to get themselves a nice big win there, push towards the quarterfinals. Now Brazier passes it back across, and I believe that would have been, I've forgotten her name already, but it was it Fitzpatrick? Yes, it was. I keep on getting Fitzpatrick and Portia Woodman confused for some reason, even though they are very different. Now that's going to be a nice wee step from it was Canet. Now just throwing the ball into touch though, unfortunately, and it will become a line out now by the Black Ferns Sevens. She seems to be trying extremely hard, Canet, but she is the only one who has really been in this game for the USA. Unfortunately, we've hardly seen Maha. I think we've only seen her once. Now I think about it, and then alongside that, probably Chita Embers had the second most carries, maybe like 2 in this matchup. So hopefully they do get a little bit more of the possession in the last 5 minutes of this game. Now going for the line out, Sita Hirini, picked up and put down, throwing it into Tyler Nathan Wong. Backline movement looking good for the Black Ferns. Now it's the youngster in Hotham. Nice run forward. Brazier is going to have this ball now for them to recycle quickly on the halfway line currently for the Black Ferns. Tyler Nathan Wong finds the offload now once again off into the hands of Teresa Fitzpatrick. Looks for the ball on the inside, almost able to find Portia Woodman. Does end up just missing out. Now Tyler Nathan Wong goes back across to Blyde. In fact, it was Hirini now kicking behind from Brazier. Now it's going to be a bit of a foot race. The ball bounces extremely awkwardly. Brazier uses her football skills. Michaela Blyde just bumped off someone and just fended her and chucked her to the side, but she wasn't able to do the same with Chita Ember. Was able to put in a big hit now, looking off to the left-hand side. Wide cutout pass over the top. Hirini is going to make sure that one goes into touch, and now it will be USA who have got the line out, but currently New Zealand with a 24-0 lead here over the USA. And Michaela Blyde, this fend off here, unfortunately, has Canet once again. Like, at least she's there. That is the probably big thing, because she is the only one who I've really seen repeatedly. And also Hoki Maimana, Awahine Toa Aotearoa, and there it was from Mark. But currently the Kiwis doing very nicely, 24-0. And it is about to be another line-out opportunity here for the USA. And it will be now Heverland. He's about to throw this ball in. She goes to the front, taken nicely by Chris Thomas, who finds the offload back to the hands of Maha. Now going back across. This is looking like the best play of the day for the USA. Gets back up, goes again now. And currently, oh no, I think that is actually the youngster Canet who has stayed down for a little bit of time. She's back up now by the looks of Kaka making the tackle there. Backline movement. Now it's in the hands of it was Kayla Canet. A lot of pressure being put on though by Portia Woodman. Wrestling the USA down still inside of their own 22. No surprises then. And there's Esmond Sagwa. And yeah, at the moment they are doing very nicely. I think that big game's going to be England versus Fiji to see who can qualify in that second place position, or maybe even go through for the repechage type side of things, which is the next 2 highest sides outside of the top 2 will then qualify for the quarterfinals. That's going to be the penalty for the USA. Not a lot of time left on the board now. And I believe, if I listen very closely, I can almost hear the rain. It's pouring down. It does not look like too nice of a day there. And unfortunately for them, it doesn't look like it's going to be any clearer for the rest of the day. Now taking the quick tap now for the USA. Now passing it back across. Nicely done. Now it's Maha in a bit of space, trying to fend off Teresa Fitzpatrick. In fact, it was Hotham who was able to drag her down. Now Chita Ember has to play halfback. Going back across for the US. It's just not quite linking up. And now Chris Thomas gets a bit of space there to Hirini. Able to drag her down nicely though. And now goes for the turnover and the breakdown. Unable to do so. Chita Ember. But a space now for a now out into the hands of their quick flyer number 7 for this match, which is Alex Cedric. Now looking short side. Not quite happening on that side. So now instead, nice run forward from Kershey. Now moves up to only about 40 metres out from the USA line. New Zealand win the turnover, though, in the breakdown. And they have done brilliantly once again. Now 2 minutes 30 left in this matchup. And New Zealand just seem to be in the breakdown every single one. And trying to cause a lot of problems for the USA. The USA, I feel like even though this win is slipping away from them here, they will still be confident to make it into that top 8. And to come up against someone else in the opposition. Although I don't think you want to come up against Australia. I saw that they won 58-0 up against Mexico. which isn't exactly the scoreline that the Mexicans would have been after for that one. But hopefully, we get to see USA, Australia, New Zealand, and also you probably argue who's the next biggest side? Probably England, I guess, but normally Great Britain are the side that go a little bit better. Ireland are actually pretty decent for the women's side of things as well, I believe. But now Nathan Wong going to be going off the back here, going for the kicker behind, going to be back in the pace of her flying winger, and it looks like, yes, it does sit up that time for Kaka, and now not able to find the offload back. Still going to be available for them, though, recycling it quickly. It is absolutely bucketing down currently, but Sarah Hirini, ball on the outside, off to Portia Woodman. She steps on the inside and scores the try once again for New Zealand, and that will be another try now on the ball with still 1 minute 30 left in this matchup. Portia Woodman gets her second of the match, her third of Langford, and that will now be another kicking opportunity for the Kiwis. We're sitting 29-0 up, looking very impressive indeed. Anyone who does want to know about Toulouse versus La Rochelle, currently in that game, it is sitting there at 17 points to 16 in favour of Toulouse. So a very close game for the top 14 currently. And yeah, the camera is getting absolutely drenched at this point in time. I hope they have got their waterproof ones, or else they will be in a little bit of trouble more than likely. The New Zealand fans in the crowd, they were absolutely loving that try. And now Tyler Nathan Wong tries to line it up. And she has just missed the way to the right-hand side. So the score with 40 seconds left will remain at 29-0 in favour of New Zealand. Tyler Nathan Wong looking to kick this one off now. Puts a high, waiting for it to come down. It's taken nicely by the US. And now, once again, with their hands on the ball, they're going to need it for the rest of this matchup. And if they can get themselves one try in this game, I feel like that will give them some confidence. It's going to be intercepted, though, by Tyler Nathan Wong. And now Kaka driving through. And it's going to be another try for New Zealand at the end of this match with only 7 seconds left. I believe that could be the final moment of this game for New Zealand. And it was Sheree, I think it is. Sheree Kaka has been able to score it. She just saw a bit of it wasn't even really a gap. She just created the gap and then ran straight through. And that will be full time in this game now. New Zealand have been able to get themselves a very good win here. And it is going to be 36-0 in this match between the two sides. So very nicely done by New Zealand. The next game that we are covering on the channel, it is going to be Fiji taking on England. And that match is kicking off in only a couple minutes' time. So we will see you all in a very short moment. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got plenty more of the Sevens coming up in the near future. But I will see you all for the next one.